Hello world, this is Joe Strout with another Coffee Break Coding. Today, instead of starting right in MiniScript, we are going to start in a web-based environment called the Try It page. You just go to https://miniscript.org/tryit, and you'll have this nice little environment that lets you run MiniScript code right within your browser. I normally like to widen my window and have the source code and the running code side by side, but that's probably too small to see on the video, so I'm going to zoom in. There we go. That should be easier to see. And now the source code and the running environment are stacked vertically, which is fine. This is probably also what it'll look like if you go to this page on your phone. When you first go to the Try It page, it's got some default code here that does a little countdown and liftoff. You can click the Run Script button, and it says countdown from where. We'll just say 5, and then it does a little countdown, which is cool, but not what we're after today. Today I want to make a little number guessing game. It'll demonstrate loops and the if-else statement, and then we'll pop over to MiniMicro and spruce it up a little bit. So let's just select all this code and delete it. The first thing we need to do is make the computer pick a random number. And there's an R&D function which generates a random number between 0 and 1. So let's just try this first. Print R&D, and we'll click Run Script, and it prints 0.114. If we run it again, we get a different number, always between 0 and 1. So now let's pick our number as num equals ceil, which means ceiling, of R&D times 100. So when we multiply R&D by 100, we get a number from 0 up to 100. The ceil function will round that to the next whole number greater than that. So this will give us a whole number that's from 1 to 100. And let's just print this out. Well, we'll print out a message that says, I'm thinking of a number from 1 to 100. And then for testing purposes, we'll print out what it is. It's plus the actual number. And let's give that a try. Oops. The scrolling back and forth is kind of a nuisance, but I want to make sure you can read it clearly. So I'm thinking of a number from 1 to 100. It's 98. We'll run again. This time it's 24. So now it's always picking a number from 1 to 100. And now we want the user to guess what that is. The user is going to have to guess multiple times, probably, so we need a loop. We'll say while true. There's the end of our loop, and now we'll fill in the body. Let's get your guess. We'll say guess equals input your guess. This is the prompt to display. And then whatever the user types will be returned as a string, just a collection of characters that the computer won't really interpret as a number unless we append .val, that stands for value, and that will convert the string into a number. And now we can compare that to the number that we chose on line 1. So we can say, if guess is greater than num, then we'll print too high. Your guess was higher than the number. Else, if, oops, I should outdent this here. That happens automatically in MiniMicro, but not in the Try It page. Else, if the guess is less than num, then we'll print too low. Otherwise, we'll print you got it. And then at the end, oh, it's going to keep looping at this point. Let's demonstrate that. Code a little, test a little, I always say. So I'm thinking of a number from 1 to 100. We actually know it's 47, but we'll imagine we didn't know and we guess 40. Too low, 50. Too high, what about 47? I got it, but it's still asking me for my guess. So let's fix that. We'll reset that and scroll up. Once you get it, we want to break out of the while loop, and you can do that with the break command. And then we'll jump to the next line after the loop, where let's just print good game. And let's try again. Run script. thinking of a number from 1 to 100. Maybe it's 30. That's too low. Maybe it's 50. Well, what if it's 38? We got it. Good game. And the script is no longer running. So that is a basic guessing game in the Try It environment. Now let's take that over to MiniMicro and see if we can spruce it up a bit. I'm just going to select this and copy, and then we'll switch back to MiniMicro. And when you launch MiniMicro, it's going to look like this. Just use the edit command and paste in the code. And code from the Try It page should work exactly the same in MiniMicro. So let's just close the editor. And since we're going to be adding to this, I want to save my work. Let's type save guess. It saves it to /user/guess.ms. And now let's just run. Thinking of a number from 1 to 100. It's telling us it's 30. Of course, we'll take that out once we're done testing so that you actually have to guess. But let's say I guess 20. That's too low. How about 40? That's too high. 30 is just right. So it's working the same here as it did on the Try It page. But now let's see if we can make it a little bit fancier. Let's start by printing this success message in a brighter color. So we'll say text.color equals color.yellow. Print the message, and then we'll put the text back to the standard orange. I'm going to press F5 to run. You could also click this button here. Does the same thing. All right, let's guess 50. Nope. How about 80? Nope. How about 62? All right, that's kind of fun. Now, to make it even more interesting, let's add some sound effects. If we do a directory of /sys/sounds, well, that's hard to say. Here are various sounds that come with MiniMicro in the sounds directory. And we can use the view command to test those out. Sys sounds, how about bonus.wave? That's nice. Maybe bongo.wave. Okay, that's the one I want to use today. I'm going to copy this so I don't have to type it again. And edit. So right at the top of the program, let's get that sound with file.loadSound. And then we can play it. In fact, what I'm thinking is when it's too high, we'll play a descending series of notes that sort of suggests that you should guess lower. And we can do that by doing a sound.play of the bongo sound, wait a little bit, and then play it again at a slower speed. Sound.play has 3 optional parameters, and they are volume from 0 to 1, left, right, pan, 0 means right in the center, and then the third one is the pitch, which, well, it's the speed. A speed of 1 is normal speed. If we go 0.75, that means a little bit slower, which will be a lower pitch. And then we'll do something very similar if you guess too low, except our second note will play at a speed of 1.25, which will make it higher. And let's give that a try. Let's guess 50. That's too low, so we should guess higher, maybe 90. That's too high, so now we'll guess the right number. No sound on that though. So let's do our directory again. I'm pressing up arrow to go to past commands. Unfortunately, right now in this version of MiniMicro, there isn't really a good victory sound, but we do have sys sounds cha-ching, cash register sound. That'll have to do for now. So I'm going to select this and copy, edit, and that one, since we're only playing once, I'm just going to file.loadSound right here. .play. And also, let's make it a true guessing game by having it not tell us the number it's thinking of. I can do that by just commenting out this line with a couple of slashes. That turns it into a comment, it's ignored by the computer, and it won't actually do anything on that line. So it's thinking from a number from 1 to 100. We don't know what it is. Let's guess 50. Too high. How about 1? Obviously too low. Maybe in the middle. 25 is still too low. 40. Oh, between 30 and 40. Still too low. Must be, there it is, 36. And I think that'll wrap it up for today. We've demonstrated if loops and while loops. Let's put that code up on the screen again, which you can do with the source command, or of course, you can edit and look at it this way. So we've talked about while loops, if else, text color, and we also played around some with sounds. I hope you enjoyed this coffee break coding. If you want to learn more, go to miniscript.org. Also, check out miniscriptpress.com, where you can find my new book, Learn to Code in 30 Days. You'll find lessons like this and a whole lot more. Happy coding!